All right, so here's my question. I was driving here and listening to horrible AM radio, and there was an ad on the radio for a position at the radio station. And the ad said that you could come and you could be on the radio, or you can do new media, right? And I love that because I loved and hated that. It's that their version of what new media was in that radio ad was so far from my version of what new media was, that it was like the opposite end of the spectrum. What they were going to do in new media was so far from what I teach in new media and what I practice in new media in my own way. So that leads to the first obvious question, which is, what is new media art? How do you define it for yourself? And that's the first question that's always asked at a panel like this. But I also want to ask, what does it mean that we always have to ask what new media is? We don't go to a painting panel and say, what is painting, is the first question. So what does it mean for our discipline that we're constantly asking, what is new media? And does the fact that we have to always ask this question mean that the term is a little, is becoming useless? Is it really a successful term to describe what we're doing or not? So we're going to have to pass the mic around, which would be really annoying. Do you want? I'll start down here. I'll be mic jockey, I guess.
So the question has been discussed for at least 15 years when it comes to media that use digital technologies. To the best of my knowledge, the term was first used in the early 20th century for film, when film came about. Everybody agrees that it's a really bad term because it doesn't say anything, and that's where the problem lies. Its big advantage is that it can accommodate whatever is happening at any given point, because this is a medium that is really evolving. So some basic distinctions that need to be made, I think, is first of all, new media is often used interchangeably with digital art. There's digital art that uses the technologies as a tool in the creation of a photograph, of a painting, of a sculpture, for example. That doesn't change the, it is a different aesthetics, but it doesn't change presentation, selling, etc. We're dealing with art objects. And then there's new media that is created, stored, distributed by digital technologies, and that really makes use of the inherent characteristics of the medium. Works that are interactive, generative, participatory. They don't need to be, but those are the characteristics that are associated with the medium. And those pose tremendous challenges. But the issue is that this is a constantly evolving medium, and we constantly have to keep defining it. Like social media is something of the 21st century, the whole Facebook type of networking. Locative media only exploded really in the 21st century. The net art of the 90s is not the net art of the 2000s. So I think that's why we have to keep asking that question. And 15 years ago, people said the term is old and we should come up with something new. And it is difficult and problematic. It hasn't happened yet.
I'm just dealing with the microphones are independent anymore. There's nothing in between. So it's like a very pure statement. That's kind of where cyber minimalism, cyber came to register that word.
There were modernist dictates of expressed trying to get things down to the fewest possible units, trying to be very true to the materials that you're using. If you can say it with 4 pixels, you don't need 10 filters in order to make it more fancy and elaborate. John Simon, who's a computer artist, he's someone who was doing this type of very pixelated work. He had a piece called Every Icon, which would randomly assemble icons just by shifting pixels. He I think, was very conscious of all of it and minimalism and that whole history of.
So you'll see now when they walk out of
A
the gallery.
timeline that just had a few variables, and there's absolutely a correlation that way through people like Simon gets you to the pixels and to the whole 8-bit.
And I think it makes a lot of sense that artists are looking back, exploring these games. And they're also very nice when it comes to looking at the essentials of the digital in terms of image construction, in terms of the pixel of 8-bit. So I think it's a mixture of...
It's ingrained into your memory.
I don't see them often because there's so much tone in my brain. But yeah,
collecting in a museum took like a very hard facility.
Okay.
If you need the restrooms, they're around the corner here.
Thank you. Okay.
Videos to show that I think somehow encapsulate our interest in media technology and sort of the issues around it. First one is a short video by the artist David Herbert, who took Steamboat Billy, a video from 1928, I believe, one of the first Disney videos that at that point was the height of animation technology. And he remade it frame by frame on his kitchen table with string and cardboard and kazoo and paper and whatever was available. So you have like two points of reference. One is this transformation of existing technology, and the other is perhaps maybe a desire to do something
San Francisco is really cool, think again, because it's not what you think. So I kept looking all over the country, towns and cities and towns, and somebody told me that Vermont's really cool, and it's liberal too. I know that. I mean, Bernie Sanders and all that. And so I said, I'm coming here, and just by chance, it was this festival, this digital media festival. I thought, that's cool. And so I came here, but I didn't know anything about this place. I've never been here. I got here last night at 7 o'clock. I haven't even been like 3 blocks in the town. And I don't know anything about the town. And that's another reason why I'm the village idiot.
So our idea for Woodstock was later on human data transfer outspeed or outpace digital data transfer. So let's raise the human against the human data runner against the online, not a file sharing, but maybe something similar to file sharing. It's a Dropbox system which synchronizes computers over the network, so you have one file on one computer, and then it shows up on the other computer as well. So we developed a system where we created file sizes which exponentially, like visual data, 2 times 2 times 2 times 4, and so on, exponentially increase.
Come up on those.
I mean, I just did things like we were actually very lucky to miss all the traffic and all the rain.
When did you leave to miss traffic?
We left at 2, so we only...
And then I've got more, and then I've got more, threaten you with them, but please.